So I was watching Nightline the other day, and it was Byron Pitts interviewing Rich Besser. Rich Besser is the president of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. He used to be the head of the CDC. And I thought it was really interesting. I just wanted to watch a really quick clip and see if there's anything that we might be able to learn and apply to the work that we do in our own environments. So let's take a look.
Where does the U.S. stack up globally in its efforts to flatten the curve?
I think one of the things that you can see is efforts to try and learn from what's been done in different countries. Not every country's been hit with this at the same time. For instance, the new guidance around wearing masks in public is some learning that was done looking at what was being done in many Asian countries, so in China and Singapore and Hong Kong, and the practice there of wearing masks. If we can learn from what others have done and not have to repeat some of the errors that take place, that will help everybody.
What I find really interesting about this clip is the number of times he refers to the word learning.
And learn is some learning that if we can learn, you learn. It's an ongoing learning process. Coaches will learn and see.
In the second clip, which I find really interesting, there are a couple things that I want to point out. Number one, Byron asks, is there a benefit to everybody getting on the same page and responding to this crisis in exactly the same way? And his answer is no.
Yeah, I don't think so. One thing that I found through emergency response is that you learn. It's an ongoing learning process. At the beginning, what you don't know far outstrips what you do know. And so by different countries trying different approaches, we'll learn and see, okay, what things work and what things don't work.
There is not a benefit to everybody responding in the same way. When you do respond the same way, he's saying, you miss out on that opportunity to figure out what's working and what's not working. We're making this mistake of deciding too early what the right solution is, what the one solution is, what the consistent solution is. I think it's really interesting to hear leaders in this pandemic talk about delaying the need for consistency and delaying the need for standardization in favor of being able to learn a little bit more about what's working and what's not working. I also find it interesting that he talks about transparency and the need for transparency as a critical tool for pushing forward in the face of this pandemic.
But it takes an investment in the science and the research and some transparency in terms of what's worked and what hasn't, both around the globe and here in the U.S. as different cities and states try different approaches.
Leaders in this pandemic that are providing truthful answers and truthful information about what they do know and what they don't know are making headway. Those who are hiding information, those who are hoarding information, those who are afraid to say, I don't know, are the ones that are missing out on opportunities to learn and missing out on opportunities to figure out what a better solution would be. Now, pull the pandemic out of this whole thing and just put your current business context in place. The exact same lesson applies. The ability to prioritize the need to learn over the need to know, or the need to be the one who knows. The ability to learn over the need to standardize too early, to be able to set up sort of an experimental test bed inside your organization to find out what's working and what's not working. It works in our organizations as well as it does in this pandemic. Parallels between what we're facing in this pandemic and what organizations face inside the walls of their companies have been exhausted. This is a perfect example, a perfect illustration of why we suggest organizations move more in this direction than in that.